All right, welcome back to the Mike and George show. Today we are rejoined by Sam Hakim, who we talked a little bit of UFC with last month following UFC 320, Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev. I wasn't able to watch the whole main event or watch the whole main card for UFC 321, Aspinall Gane, although we know how that one ended with the controversial eye poke. I was able to watch that first round. It was a really good first round. I mean, prior to the last, like 30 seconds left, we got the eye poke, but I thought Gane was fighting one of his better fights. Aspinall had his moments too. It was a really good fight, and then, of course, the eye poke happened. So real quick, what was our thoughts on UFC 321 main event, which, of course, was a little bit of a letdown because of how it ended with the anticlimactic eye poke?
Financial despair, poor decision-making. That's just me. No, I mean, it was hard, like as a fan, waiting a couple of years for Aspinall to make this return, after sitting out, dealing with the whole John Jones saga. Gane, his loss to John Jones is remarkable, right? Because he was climbing so fast. So it was just so much good excitement coming around it. The card itself, the main card itself wasn't great. So this was very much the prize. And to have it go in the way of an eye poke is brutal. But I'm glad it's sparking good conversation with officiating and referees and how they're going to go forward with penalizing, having fighters having their hands extended, fingers out, eye pokes, because that's the only way you're going to quell it is to start penalizing to the point where it becomes coaching. It becomes habit. It becomes habit forming. And that's the only way you're going to do it. I mean, they're trying to do this in the NFL, right? They try to do this in all the sports. They start penalizing harder on certain things, headshots, roughing the passer calls, things like that. So the only way you're going to fix it is to actually make it a regrettable decision. And so if there's a silver lining to the fight, it's that hopefully we'll get some change. Otherwise, man, what a brutal waste of time to get to that main event. The whole bill. It was a tough one, man.
Yeah, exactly. The silver lining here is hopefully we don't see as many eye pokes in the future. That was a nasty eye poke, and you did mention
it was bad. Well, Aspinall has all the right to be like, that was brutal.
100%.
It was very obvious that this was a double eye poke. It went deep. It caused damage. And it sucks that Tom got booed. I didn't like how Tom handled it. I thought he was kind of victimizing or, making himself and obviously putting a lot of don't boo me. It's bad.
I didn't put myself in the eye kind of thing. He's like, don't blame me.
I just wish he kind of was I kind of wish he was like F Gane. I wish he kind of took a villain turn. How dare this guy do this in my major comeback? I wish he would have kind of went heel, and I think that would have been better. But I didn't like how he handled it personally. But at the end of the day, the evidence is very clear that it was an awful eye poke. So
it was that. And by the way, both guys have a right to be upset. I mean, Gane was fighting a good fight through 4.5 minutes. Now, Gane's had a history too of some, so again, it very well could be coaching. But obviously, Gane doesn't want to poke him in the eye when he's possibly winning the round. I mean, it was a very close round. Gane had his moments. He hurt Tom a little bit. It was going to be probably a pretty good fight. At least what it looked like appeared. I know Aspinall was a huge favorite, but Gane is no slouch, and Gane was fighting as well as his potential would suggest he could fight. So it was going to be, I thought, a good fight, which is why it hurt so bad. It's like, man, I just wasted all the time. And I
love Tom so much. I love Tom Aspinall. I wanted it. I wanted that victory so badly, and to have it, what felt like stripped away for an eye poke.
Yep.
So damn you, Gane. Damn you, Tom. Damn you, UFC.
But they have to work back now, probably, right? I mean, there's unresolved stuff there. They probably have to figure out a way to make that fight happen again, even though.
I will absolutely participate in a rematch. Yeah. Yes. I mean, I still want it. But again, this needs to be tape Gane's hands down. I don't care what it takes. Please do not let that happen again.
No.
Whatever it takes. These guys, give them boxing gloves. Just please don't let the eye poke happen again. I can't do it. And also, I feel like as an insurance plan for this match, Dana White and all the powers that be should give us a fabulous lineup to this main event. So that way, if anything were to happen, nonsensical, at least I'd be like, wow, you know what? I didn't even need it, but I got it. So because it was brutal. The whole setup was just setting it up for. That
had to be the fight to save the card, 100%. No doubt about it. Yeah, so now let's shift gears to UFC 322, which is coming up this Saturday, obviously, in Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. It's going to be really good. Islam Makhachev is moving up to welterweight for this title fight to fight against Della Maddalena, JDM, who's coming off of a win over Bilal, obviously, in a very impressive unanimous decision. I don't think Islam was ever going to fight Bilal. Obviously, this is kind of the reason why he was waiting so long to move up. I think he always wanted to move up to welterweight, but with Bilal having the belt, he wasn't going to fight Bilal. There's just no. It's almost like a Marab and Funkmaster. They were never going to fight each other. Aljamain Sterling. They were never going to fight each other. So they kind of had to wait till Sterling lost the belt, and then Marab is going to. Okay, yeah. So Islam moves up to welterweight, which is apparently he feels much more comfortable at welterweight. He was like, I was kind of tired of cutting weight to lightweight. So now he's up to welterweight now, and he is the challenger. JDM is the champion. Islam is a pretty significant favorite here. He's minus 275, betting favorite over JDM.
On his name, put some respect. I mean, like he's
100%. I mean, this is going to be really, really interesting. I mean, Islam is the pound for pound #1 fighter on the planet. So again, he's trying to become a 2-division champion now. Obviously, there's the whole backstory with it's like, well, him and Topuria, if they were to do a lightweight thing, that could be like the super fight. But right now, we're worrying about Islam possibly getting a second belt to his name. How do we see this fight? How do we envision this fight going? I'm excited for it, really. JDM and Islam.
I'm very excited for this fight. So to be very honest with you, since the Tom Gane fight, it's been kind of tough to watch UFC. Like it's been competing against some really great football, college ball. It's been, and the cards haven't been great. And so this has been something that, I think a lot of UFC fans have circled. So I'm excited. First of all, I just want both fighters to come out with feeling their best. I'm excited for Islam to be at a weight that he feels like he's more normal at. I heard on the Ariel Helwani show, Tim Welch said a comment that Islam said, which is that when he was fighting at 155, he was only fighting at 60% capacity because it was so intense to do a weight.
That's scary.
I am ready for Islam, 100% capacity. I really like Jack Della Maddalena. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's a great boxer. I think he's a fantastic mixed martial artist who's really become a very well-rounded fighter. I think he has a fun personality for someone who was kind of stoic and quiet. But until you beat the man, you got to take a step back. And I think Islam is that man. And I think Islam's going to win. I'll just come out right and say I think Islam's going to win. I like Islam by some form of submission, whatever that may look like. Mm-hmm. I think Islam is just an incredible artist in the ring. He's unbelievable. He's Rembrandt. He's that level of mastery. It's unbelievable. And I think his grappling abilities are further of Bilal. I think his grappling abilities are further than anyone that JDM could have ever fought or practiced against.
Yeah, of course.
And I do think having Craig Jones in his team is going to give him an unbelievable edge. I want to put that out there. Craig Jones, if you're listening, I'm a fan of the work. I think JDM is going to be much more prepared than people think. I think he's going to give Islam a much more difficult time. I think Islam will have to readjust to getting hit by someone who is at 100% capacity, who wants to win, so not a training partner, is going to have to get used to getting hit by someone at this size again. Because obviously when you're training, you're going, but you're not trying to kill your champion.
Right.
So now he's going to have someone who's going to try and win this belt. I think he's going to have to, the first hit's going to be interesting, right? The first crack that JDM lands on Islam will be an interesting one. And I like the idea that if we make it through round one, it's anyone's ball game. But 100%. I still think Islam takes the edge. I still think Islam wins. I still think Islam wins by submission. And I think it could look something similar to the Poirier fight where it was getting there's some good rounds. JDM could certainly take a round or two. Yeah. But it's at some point in time, Islam's going to be like, okay, I'm not having fun anymore and I want to win. And that's kind of when he's going to shut it down, which is what he did with Poirier. He had fun. He let Poirier show off. He got his shots in. He made him bleed. And then Islam was like, okay, I'm satisfied.
Let me just win. Yeah.
And then that crazy little lasso move where he yoinked him back by his leg and then
never seen anything like it. I never seen anything like that. Yeah. So by the way, JDM is by the way, JDM is sneaky on the ground. He's better than people think, but I mean, it's funny to me how Islam Makhachev, and we'll get to the welterweight division as a whole, because it's kind of a loaded division right now. There's a lot of contenders that are really, really good.
Division.
Yeah, and now again, JDM kind of pieced up Bilal. He hurt Bilal more than most people in an octagon will ever do. And that was interesting. So I totally agree. The first time that he actually hits Islam's going to be feeling a different kind. I mean, again, he's fought all the heavy hitting lightweights in Poirier and Oliveira. He's fought Volkanovski, who obviously came out the lightweight. So he's fought some heavy hitters now. But again, it's like you're moving up a weight class. Whenever you get cracked by a JDM who's going to hit like a welterweight would hit, it could be very interesting. So I definitely could see this being a sneaky 4-round. Like it could go into deep waters. I think the JDM Bilal fight was the first time that Della Maddalena actually fought a 5-round fight. I think it's the first time he went into a 5th round, maybe. But again, so now he's got experience in that level. I had written down Islam via submission. It really Islam via whatever he wants. It's not disrespect to JDM. It's not at all. It's just I think Islam's that good. Again, we saw him earlier this year in January. He did not fight Arman Sarukian because he had to pull out last second. So he fought, I believe, Moicano and made it look easy. I think it was over
easy.
Yeah, it was
I will say I think JDM is a better fighter than Moicano. I think, if I put him in a room and you want to do like a whole pound for pound thing, I think JDM wins that fight against Moicano. No disrespect. I think Moicano's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But man, Islam is kind of a freak show. Yeah. I will also say though, this is something that I like to look at, like nonverbal communication wise. Look at Islam's eyes after JDM. If he gets a good first crack, not like a little tap, because that'll kind of allude to like some of his power. Sure. But if JDM makes a connection early in the fight, we'll say, I watch for Islam's eyes. If his eyes get a little bit bigger, he's realizing that he might be going up against more of a hitter than he thought. Okay. If he looks comfortable, prepare for Islam, right? I think that's what it's going to be. And like, I remember maybe not the first one, but like throughout the fight, watching Bilal's eyes get bigger and bigger, kind of realizing the Shark Tank he was in. And so I think if Islam gives some big reaction, that's when you start doing that in-game betting where you're like, okay, maybe JDM might hit him with something here, and I might be able to pocket something. But I think that'll be something. And I've only seen like Islam has given those eyes before. He gave those eyes to Poirier when Poirier started laying it on him in those later rounds. You saw those eyes start to open.
5th round against Volkanovski.
5th round against Volkanovski, getting brought into the deep end.
Yeah.
And if JDM can make those eyes kind of pop faster than those two can, consider something happening in the system of the universe. But if you don't see that reaction from Islam, know that he is in full driver's seat.
Yeah, and you mentioned Bilal. Bilal, I think, never really wants to fight that kind of fight. And he was realizing, oh my gosh, the crispness and the accuracy of JDM right now, like I can't escape this guy's punches right now. He's that accurate and he's landing. And he hurt Bilal, obviously, as we saw in that fight, that we've really never seen Bilal get hurt and damaged that badly in a 5-round fight before. Usually he's the one dictating things. And in that fight, it was all JDM. So we both like Islam in that fight. The co-main is as good a co-main as you're ever going to find. I can't. This would be a main event on most cards. I mean, it's straight up. It would be. These are the two best women fighters alive right now. Because, and I'm saying as an asterisk because Amanda Nunes is still kind of half retired, right? I mean, I know she's gonna come back for the Kayla Harris
fight. She's coming back. She's in the pool, so we'll consider her unretired, right? If you're in the pool, I think you're unretired.
Sure, but I mean, Amanda Nunes is the GOAT in my opinion. But let's just put her aside for a second because I think these two are right now in the current landscape, the two greatest women fighters on the planet. Again, like Shevchenko is obviously the champion here. Zhang Weili is, we talk about Islam moving up. Zhang Weili is vacating the strawweight title. She's moving up now to fight Valentina Shevchenko for the flyweight title and the women's flyweight title. So this is going to be electric. It's a very slight. Shevchenko's minus 130. Weili is plus 110, an ever so slight underdog. And I'm taking. Just not to spoil anything, I'm taking Weili. I'll never again get Weili as an underdog, so I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to take Weili because I'll never once get her as an underdog ever again. So
you'll never get plus money on her. You'll never get
plus money on Zhang Weili ever. So, and I think she's just unbelievable. Now both these women are unbelievable. So I'm going to kind of tee it off for you here because this is going to be everything in a women's fight that we could ever ask for with these two. These are technicians. These are unbelievable talents. This is like, to put it into football terms, it's like Brady and Mahomes. If they were both, it's one of those. It's literally that good of a women's fight that it's like I can't believe it's a co-main event. So what do we think is gonna happen in this fight? It's again a champion versus a champion. Weili's trying to become a 2-division champ, just like Islam Makhachev is trying to become a 2-division champ. I know nowadays in this new era we can't really have two people holding the belt at the same time. So it's like okay, you're gonna have to.
I don't like that though. I want it. I want the optics. Like.
We used to see McGregor have his belt, and then we have two people with belts.
Poirier had it. I mean, like these women both equally deserve a chance to be a double champ. Because just of what they've done in their careers and how much success they've had. I mean, they're GOATs, they're legends. Like you said, it's like watching two mega stars, two legends of the game go after each other. It's Batman versus Superman. It's like you said, it's Brady Mahomes. They're trying to think of some other good ones.
It's just gladiator stuff right here.
It's incredible, right? And they're both warriors, and they're both game, which is the best, right? They both want to win. They both come from these backgrounds where winning is everything. They're both insane when they want to just go for it, and they want to put the gas on. I really don't know what's going to happen with this fight. And this is a main event. If it's JDM versus anyone else, I'm upset that this fight's not at the top
the main
of the
event.
card.
Yeah.
The only reason why I'm okay is because Islam's pound for pound #1 in the world.
Of course,
that's it.
He won't be a co-main ever. No, Islam won't be a co-main. He's main event. Yeah.
This could be, in my mind, this might be one of the easiest fight to go the distance sort of ideas I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
There's no quit in either of these two. Obviously, Shevchenko was submitted by Alexa Grasso. After she won it back, it seemed kind of fluky because it seemed like she kind of missed a spot. Grasso took advantage of it and just caught her, and she was tired. And fair win, fair play. But when they met again, it didn't seem too bad. And
it was like the Pena Nunez fight, where it's like Pena caught her as like a plus 400 underdog, and then you came back the next time and it was like a total wipeout of the 5-0. It was like 50-44 or something like that. I mean, it was Pena got dominated by Nunez, so it felt a little bit fluky. But like you said, anything can happen on any given day.
What I love about these sort of fights is I love seeing what the smaller fighter looks like up a weight class. I'm excited to see what Weili looks like. I've seen like her social. She obviously looks shredded as ever, ready to go. They're both beasts, and I really don't know. I really don't know. I could literally see I could see Buffer in the ring being like, it's a draw. And I'm like, you know what? Like, applause. Like, give these women both their
You're both title fight. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's almost kind of funny, like, how I'd be okay with that. Okay, but let's get serious. Zhang Weili is going into Shevchenko's home in a sense. She's going into her weight class, her division. I think Sean Brady takes it. Actually, I think she pulls it off. The only thing that I have stuck in the back of my head is the image of Shevchenko standing over her opponent in the boxing match, like 15 or whatever years ago, just looking like the most absolute boss I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I think Zhang is going to use her that she's a little bit smaller. She's coming up that weight class, but I think I don't want to say that she's the hungrier of the two, but she's currently the one without the belt. And I think she likes being a champ, and I think she's going to sneak it out in a decision, and maybe it'll be close enough we'll get Shevchenko Weili too, and that'd be sick.
Right.
But I think, and especially like a plus money, it feels good to take that. But I will say, anytime I've ever spoke to my brother who is in New York and can legally bet, if he's ever asked me in a fight, who do you want, Shevchenko versus opponent or Weili versus opponent? It's a zero-brainer question. They both will win. So I think Zhang will take it by a hair.
Well, they asked Dana White, who's better, Shevchenko or Weili, and he said, that's a great question. I can't answer. Maybe they should just fight each other, and let's find out, because no one knows. It's like literally that close. I think it's gonna be an absolute war. I think it's gonna go the distance, like you said, and I think that we've seen Weili in absolute wars before. We did see her. I kind of think she got robbed in that one fight against Rose, but that's neither here nor there. Weili's been in some dog fights before, so this could be right up her alley. It could be right up Valentina's alley, of course, too. But I think this is
also been put in fights where people are like, "Oh, here it comes!" Like, this is where she loses, and she absolutely. What was the one fight? Who was the opponent? She help me out. She fought her. Everyone's like, she's a wrestler. She's
are you talking about oh gosh, hang on.
You know who I'm talking about. I'm just gonna pull it up. Hold on.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but it was like she was not supposed to win. Kind of. She was like, "This is like the
Tatiana Suarez." And people were like, "This is Tatiana Suarez's fight to lose. This is her fight to lose." And Zhang did not pull any punches. And again, like, I was looking at people because I had students who asked me and my brother, and they were like, "Who do you think is gonna win?" And I was like, "It's
Zhang Weili."
Zhang Weili. Like, she had one of the sickest answers of all time, where she's like, "I'm going to like." She's like, this woman was like, "I am the ocean," and she's like, "I am water," or something like that. Or she said something like, "I'm going to wash you away," and she's like, she said something crazy, like metaphorically, and it was like just so raw, like so like just on the point, and it was quick, and it was just and then she smothered her, and I was like, perfect. So you win again. John.
And then you also saw Zhang Weili at 300 kind of just dominate Yan Xiaonan, who was also a legit threat to the belt at that time too. So they both fought like legit women. So that's why this is like I said, it's like the best of the best. I think it's gonna be an absolute war. I just physically can't get out of my mind. I'm getting Zhang Weili as an underdog, and I'll never get that again. I'll never have the opportunity to do that again. And I think if it goes the distance, I do think Weili can squeak out some rounds that are going to be very, very close, as we know. I think the whole fight will be very, very close. I mean, the line is as close as it gets. I'm going to go Weili, but it's literally a go either way fight between two of the best you'll ever see in women's sports, period.
Tell your listeners to take advantage of plus money now, because I feel like as the fight gets closer tomorrow,
it might be a literal pick 'em.
Saturday, I think it literally could be a pick 'em.
I think it could be -110 by the time the fight starts. Literally,
that's what I think it's going to be. So if you're able to get plus money on Zhang now,
yeah,
I can't offer financial advice, right?
Right. So let's move over to Sean Brady and Michael Morales. We got an 18-0 versus 18-1 fight. We're back to welterweight now. This is a huge, by the way, it's a huge night for the welterweight division. This is like your classic grappler versus striker match. This is gonna be a showdown. These, like I said, it's 18-0 versus 18-1. You really see that where it's like two guys with these unbelievable records. I know Ian Gary and Shavkat Rakhmonov were both like 15-0 and 18-0, whatever it was. But you rarely see that at the same time for fighting each other. This feels like both these guys are maybe a fight away from getting a title shot at themselves. I mean, these guys are legit. The last time we saw Sean Brady, he's coming off a submission of former welterweight champion Leon Edwards in a really impressive performance. If you watch that, it was a fight night card, and it
was a sick fight. It was a sick fight. It was super impressive. That was like Brady's that was his coming out party for the world. But like I was kind of on the I don't want to brag, but like I was like pumping the Brady train before to my brother. I was like, well, we're taking Brady on this.
Watch out for him, yeah.
But like that was his like welcome to the world. Like I just beat a champion.
Oh, what he did to Leon was, again, super, super impressive considering how good Leon Edwards is. And the last time we saw Michael Morales, his last fight was him knocking out Gilbert Durinho Burns quickly. He beat Burns. It feels like both these guys, like I said, they're possible title fight. If they win this, they'll put themselves in a spot to possibly get themselves into contention. Sean Brady, again, ever so slight, -140 betting favorite. Michael Morales, 18-0, undefeated, underdog at +120. I don't know. This is another one. It's like it could go either way. Both these guys are really, really good. Really, really good in this division. I don't know. How do you see this going?
Okay. I don't know. This card is so well built. I think
it really is.
This is every matchmaker's dream, is to have fans.
There's no pushovers.
Just be like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen here. That's why I got to tune in, right? That's the best.
That's good for the sport. That's good for the sport.
So let's talk about Michael Morales for a second, because Michael Morales obviously clocks Gilbert Burns, ends him in round 1.
Yeah.
Knocks out Neil Magny, knocks out Jake Matthews, and all of them, has a decision against Jake Matthews. And like the knockouts are impressive. I think Sean Brady, obviously, this is a casual comment, but it's got to be said, right? This will be the hardest test for Michael Morales. Will be Sean Brady. Sean Brady has been through some wars. He has had successes. He has had times where he struggled. I'm going to pick Sean Brady here. I think Sean Brady is at a different level of motivation at the moment. I think he's seeing the game as good as he's ever had. Yep. I think he's a more well-rounded fighter, which is not always the best hill to die on, because you get clocked and that could be it, and you lost because you became a punching bag. But I think Sean Brady is ready to take that step. I think he has a really nice list of wins. I think he's just gotten better and better. And I think that progression is going to push him over the edge. He may not have the punching power that Morales has, but I don't think that's going to matter. I think Brady is a much more tactical fighter. I think he's a very strategic fighter. I think he takes a lot more calculated chances than he does risks. And I think Brady will win. This is a fight where I don't see Morales going the distance, because I don't know if he is going to have the gas to go with Brady. And so I foresee potentially first round Morales is really trying to go for it, because he knows I'm going to come out the strongest. Yeah. Brady starts to tire him out at the end of the first round. We're 5 minutes in. Brady's full tank of gas still. Brady's feeling good. He's experienced. He has the edge to go longer. Second round starts to turn the tide. Brady starts to take him into deep end. That's when you start seeing grappling. Third round submission, Sean Brady via fight before the clock. And it's going to be impressive, and people are going to look at this a very similar way, like when Prates lost, will be like, he'll be back. It's not the end of his career. He went up against a better opponent who is
Sean Brady's he's number 2 in the division. Yeah, he's number 2 in the division.
And that's why you got to put some respect on his name, right? Like, he's gotten there for a reason. And I could be totally dead wrong when we talk about this next time, but that's what I foresee is a slow wearing down like these grappling guys do. They sort of drain you and suck you of energy, and you just start to wear yourself out. And I think Brady takes advantage of that. And even though Morales is bigger guy, muscular, thicker in that way, I think Brady gets it done.
Yeah, that's why it was really interesting to see Michael Morales up against Gilbert Durinho Burns, because he's another guy who he could have made that fight difficult. In a world where it didn't go the way it did, he could have obviously given Michael Morales some problems because of how technical he is on the ground. You saw what he did to Chimaev, probably his toughest fight. So Burns was no joke, and he knocked him out in the first round. But Sean Brady,
staple UFC fighter. Burns is also older. I'm not trying to 39, 38 years old. It's
a good point. He didn't get primed Durinho Burns. That is a fair point. I agree with you. I don't think that Sean Brady has the puncher's power to knock out Michael Morales and finish him in the first round but I don't think he needs to. Like you said, I think this is a 3-round fight, so he could win just purely off of he's a little bit better in these rounds than Michael Morales is. He's a technician. Like you said, he takes calculated risks. He doesn't take reckless, So I do agree that Sean Brady, I had a Brady by decision. I just think that Morales is going to be a tough guy to finish, but again, he did finish Leon Edwards. So I could be totally dead wrong too. This is another one. This is
stamina, self-proclaimed stamina king, right? He's a cardio king. So I think Morales, he looks like he's got the cardio, but it's all muscle. So it's going to weigh him down. Yeah. He's going to try and punch. Brady, I think, is going to dip and dodge, and I think Brady's going to look clean. Brady's going to look not sweaty after the first.
Do you think Brady's going to be going for a submission? And if it's in round 3 and say he's up 2-0, is he going to kind of pump the gas a little bit and say, I have this one. I don't need to necessarily try to submit him and go for a decision?
Great comment, Michael. I don't know. At that point too, if he is up 2 rounds, I could see him fighting more
conservatively, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe if he's concerned, maybe like round 1, maybe Morales does land a shot or two.
And it's a close round.
Sort of dodging him. Yeah, and maybe they're not really sure how round 1 went. They don't want to leave it up to the judges. I could see them being like, hey, they like Morales. You should make a point here and finish this guy. And that way you should really stake your claim that you're the next one.
You're the next one in line. Yeah, that's a good point. This is, like you mentioned, I want to piggyback off your comment of this is every UFC.
One more comment? Go ahead, and I got one more comment.
I was going to say, this is every UFC fan's dream where there's no pushovers in this main card. Every single one of this main card is, I don't know what's going to happen. All these odds are very close, and that's good for the sport. That means we don't know what's going to happen in this main card as a whole. When we talk about the UFC 321, it was kind of like, okay, Umar's a -300 favorite. There was a lot of like, okay, this guy should win this fight. Like, they would be a huge upset if they didn't win this fight. This whole all 5 fights in this main card are like literally go either way fights, and then you have Islam against a literal champion in JDM. So my overall, I just wanted to kind of piggyback off your point of this is perfect for the UFC, the way that they've stacked this main event of all fights that you have to tune in for because you don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of unpredictable.
So good. I 100% agree with you. I have not been this excited for a card in a while, and it's really nice to feel this way because, hey man, you want to get your money's worth, and like you want to see the best of the best. Dana White talks about making the best fights possible. This is a card that delivers some of the best fights possible. So kudos to them again, the matchmakers. This is one of those shows you don't want to miss. This is the one you tell your friends that don't know what UFC is, and you go, this is the one you want to watch.
Yeah, so like we said, so number 2, Sean Brady against number 8, Michael Morales. Staying in the welterweight division, we have number 4 ranked.
One more Sean Brady comment. I got one more Sean Brady
comment. Go on, Sean Brady. Yeah.
You know how the UFC is about dull matches and giving opportunity. I think they're going to talk about this, and I think with Sean Brady's team, and they're going to say, hey, like in their PA Delco accent, they're not going to give us a title fight if this goes to a boring decision. They're also not going to give us a title fight if this is close because they're going to have someone because that's what they do. I think Brady does need a finish, though, to truly solidify his name on a main card for the title shot.
That is a good point. Because there's a lot of, and we'll get to the welterweight division, there's a lot of guys who are throwing their hat in the ring as I'm next in line. So that's a good point. This is a huge coming out. This is a huge prove-it fight for Sean Brady and Michael Morales. If they make a statement, whoever wins, if it's a statement win, it's like not close, they could be next in line for sure, especially for Sean Brady because he's number 2 in the rankings. So staying in the welterweight division, our third welterweight fight in this main card, it's number 4 ranked Leon Edwards against number 9 ranked Carlos Prates. Again, Prates is the betting favorite at -185. Leon Edwards, the former champion, is +155. This is another one I don't really know. It's a former champion against one of the fighting nerds, as well documented against with Prates here. Leon, as we mentioned, last scene got submitted by Sean Brady. Prates has fought twice this year. He's coming off a KO win over Jeff Neal, really impressive. We know how Jeff Neal's a really tough scrap. Before that, he lost a unanimous decision to Ian Gary, another welterweight matchup.
That was crazy too. So
exactly, but we knew Prates would
be nice and clean, but that was a good fight from Prates. Like he showed like he's some resiliency, especially getting that win afterwards, right?
Exactly, and we knew he'd be back because obviously he was really impressed in that fight. So first of all, this fight, but I want to hear about the welterweight division as a whole, who has, I mean, just a bunch of
loaded. It's loaded. It went from one of the most boring divisions to like I still think 135 is my personal favorite. I think I just like the action that 135 brings. But damn, I am not missing a welterweight fight right now. It is so good.
You got JDM.
Unanimous worst, by the way. I think heavyweight unanimous worst division.
Sure, 100%, especially considering all the layoff, and now we have an unprecedented eye poke. It's like, okay, who in the world is heavyweight right now? But staying in welterweight, we have Islam now who's moved up. We have JDM, we have Bilal, we have Sean Brady, we have Shavkat Rakhmonov, undefeated. We have Kamaru Usman, former champion. We have Leon Edwards, former champion. We have Ian Machado Gary. We have Michael Morales, Carlos Prates. I mean, even Joaquin Buckley. There's dudes on the line here. The welterweight division is loaded, and it was very, like you said, it's very boring. Not too long ago, it was like, welterweight, whatever, I'll skip. So
it
now
transformed right in front of our very eyes.
Insane. And obviously Islam moving up helps, but I mean, all these dudes emerging also helps. And this is no slouch division at all. So overall, Leon Edwards, Carlos Prates, this is, I mean, again, another huge fight. And these are two dudes who are, I mean, what do we think? This is another top 10 matchup. It feels like it's like one of those college football weeks where we have like 5 top 10 matchups. It's like, well, I can't watch all these. How is it possible to even follow along with all these things? It's too much to keep track of. But it's like, this is huge for the welterweight division. What do we think about this fight and just the division as a whole right now?
Division is in fantastic shape. It's in a beautiful place. It is something to be celebrated and enjoyed while it's here because, as we know, the fight game is fleeting. So this division could look really different in 2 years. So enjoy it while it lasts, everyone. I know we certainly are. So it's a pleasure when it's on. All these guys have become so good at being professional athletes at a very holistic sense. So when it comes to performance, media, fan interaction, like showcasing the organization, they've done it all really well, right? There's a lot of characters, there's a lot of uniqueness, there's a lot of fun, there's a lot of good interest stories and backgrounds. So it really is the best of what you want out of sport. It's got all the character arc and human elements, and also, I'll be damned if the action ain't some of the best you're getting in the UFC right now. Too. So it's in a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. For this fight, though, like Leon and Carlos, I mean, something I always get nervous about with Leon, and this is like perpetual Leon concern, is like, how did Leon wake up this morning? And I don't want to say that being like he's a slouch, but sometimes Leon comes out really slow, and Carlos Prates just wants to move kind of fast. And Leon, it's a 3-round fight. It's not a 5-round fight. I feel like there was a time where Leon was able to take advantage of starting off slower because he had 5 rounds. Yeah. Now, if Carlos comes out swinging for 2 out of 3 rounds, he's going to win. Yeah. Just like he kind of survived with Gary, even though I think that was a 5-round fight. But we saw that he could make it. We also saw, though, that he could bounce, right? He could bounce when it comes to energy level. So I like Carlos in this fight. I wouldn't be like totally stunned if Leon pulled up
me either.
Upset, because I think that's kind of how he rolls, and I think he likes being in the dog position. So like I think he likes when people think he's not going to be able to make it and he won't be making the cut. And going back to a comment I made just a couple minutes ago, Carlos Prates can make a real big little look at a title shot if he flatlines Leon, and because Brady subbed him, right? So if you want to keep up with the sort of ranking system here, like Brady subbed him, he got a finish. It can only be topped by a very fun-looking KO. And if Carlos Prates were to like throw some spinning axe kick at him, or a heel kick, or get him with a spinning elbow again, all of a sudden the fans are very loud about who they want to see at a title fight, right? And then all of a sudden Brady's fighting Prates now instead of getting another title fight, and that could be a sick fight too. But one point in time, these guys deserve a shot. So let's get, long story short, my enjoyment as a fan wants to see Carlos Prates come out with Semtex grenades in his hand. That's what I want to see. Right. I think Leon has a pretty good chin on him. I think he's also got a pretty good tacticianer's brain on him. I think he drags this fight into a round or so, but I think Prates could pull it off. I think Prates is going to be a little bit more motivated. I mean, I know he's won since his loss, but I still think his loss will come up.
Yeah, I think now here's the thing with Leon Edwards. You mentioned it. How motivated is Leon Edwards? Because we don't know. Usually some nights, like, okay, Leon looks very disinterested, and other nights we get title Leon. So we don't really know. I think in a 3-round fight, again, Leon could just take 2 out of 3 rounds and win. I mean, he doesn't have to necessarily. Well, you mentioned he could start slow and then it'd be it for him. So it really depends on how Leon wakes up in the morning, to kind of put it to your terms. It's very. I also took Carlos here. I just, again, the last 2 fights, Leon's looked very uninspiring. The Bilal fight, it was like 5 a.m. their time. He looked very uninspiring. And then the Sean Brady fight was more impressive Sean than anything. But you could see his corner's trying to motivate Leon. It takes a little bit to motivate Leon, and I think you won't have to motivate Carlos at all. He's fighting for, like you said, if he knocks out Leon, he's all of a sudden, especially if Sean Brady kind of struggles against Morales, it's kind of a coin flip fight. It's like maybe a draw or a split decision. Like he has a chance to leapfrog his name into contention as well. And again, 3-round fight. It's just gonna be, I don't know. It's another one that in another main card where it's like I really just don't know how it's gonna unfold. I'm gonna lean Carlos Prates.
Exciting.
But it's gonna be another one. It's one I have to watch because it's gonna be super exciting. Again, this is a former champion, Leon Edwards, who you could get at plus 155. So to finish out here, we have Beneil Dariush and Benoit Saint Denis, another scrap on the main card. I mean, now we're on a lightweight matchup here, number 9 versus number 13. Both these guys kind of give us entertaining fights all the time. So this is another one that's like it's another good main card fight. This is no slouch of a fight on a main card at all. Quick thoughts on that one. And obviously we have Bo Nickel in the prelims as well. We have Roman Kopylov and Gregory Rodriguez. That could be fun. There's like 7 or 8 fights on this entire card, prelims and main event and main card included, that are like kind of must watch. Like some of the prelims, I'm like, all right, I'll tune out of this one. But there's good fights all over this card, all over it.
1,000%. That's why this card is stacked really nicely. When it comes to this fight with Dariush and Saint Denis, Saint Denis kind of been rolling since he took that loss. I mean, back-to-back submissions. I mean, he's fighting really pretty well. He looked really good his last match. But I want to make a point for Dariush that I was not a Dariush believer, and he's like, oh, he's going to fight Moicano, and like Moicano's going to roll him over. And Dariush looked great. And so I think it also comes down to like what version are we getting of, Dariush versus what version are we getting of Benoit Saint Denis. I am going to lean Benoit Saint Denis. I think he's a bit more violent. I think he's willing to go into his violent sort of rage and element, and I think he's willing to take it to where he needs to take it to get the win. Another one who has now seen what the loss looks like a couple times, and so what is that? And now back, right? And now back in the win column, and I think he's chasing it again. I think he's going to pull this one out. I think Dariush is going to be a challenge, though. I don't think Dariush is going to be no slouch unless Dariush doesn't show up, and then which case we'll see. But all signs point to him showing up. All signs point to a good scrap. Like you said, both guys want to prove a point. They both want to make maybe this run. Benoit Saint Denis try to make another run, but we'll say a real first run. Dariush trying to make a run again.
Especially with Islam as a division now. Islam as a division, you can make
right. The division looks a lot more pretty if you're trying to win a title with Islam.
Sure.
It really does, though. It's like the tax man's gone. It's just everyone's open for business now.
Oh, now we can. Yeah, exactly right. Ilya potentially is obviously the next guy that possibly. Yeah, Ilya could do the exact same thing in the division, or he could possibly be a boxing person in 2 years. Maybe the division's wide open again. I don't know. But
it would be crazy. What are you taking on this one?
I see. The thing is, if Dariush shows up, I think he's live. I think he can win this. I really do. It depends on what Dariush shows up. Like you said, I had Dariush via TKO. I think it's gonna be. I think either one is gonna be a finish. I really think that both these guys are gonna try to make a statement. I don't think either one wants a decision win. Really, if I'm being honest with you. So I took Dariush. I had to have an underdog. I guess I did have Zhang Weili as an underdog too. So I was like, I have to find one underdog on the card because I also agree with you on Carlos and Brady as the slight favorites, and then Islam is like a little bit of a healthier favorite. But I wanted to pick one underdog, and Dariush has done me good before as a dog.
I like it.
Yeah. But Saint Denis, I mean, he's a scary dude, and he's
live dog. Every dog in this main card is a live dog.
Yes, exactly right. There's no dog where it's like, there's no value on them. It's like, no, these are all good fighters.
A 50-cent little parlay on all the dogs in the main could be kind of a fun little hit,
Yeah. I mean, when are you ever going to get Zhang Weili and 18-0 Michael Morales as an underdog? And then former champion Leon Edwards as an underdog. And then you got Dariush as an underdog. And then, JDM's also an underdog. Like, all 5 of those fighters are incredible, and they're all underdogs. They're not supposed to win.
They could all win very easily as they can lose.
They could all easily. Exactly right. That's a perfect way to put it. Overall predictions. I have Islam via submission. I think you also agree Islam via submission.
Yep.
I have Weili, and it goes the distance. I think it goes 5 rounds. I think it's an absolute war. You also have Weili. I think you said, is it decision, or do you think maybe she submits her on the ground?
I think I said decision on this one.
You did say decision. Okay, that's just, and then
and I think I was like, hey, let's just call it a draw even too.
That would be the best case scenario, honestly. That would be perfect. Although I also want to see like I also want to see who's definitively better, but I also would not hate if we get like a straight up all-time classic where it's like you can't pick a winner because they were both that good. So I
gotta curtail my expectations. I'm laying on the expectation extra thick right now, and I don't want to pump it up so much.
I don't want to put it up here and then expect it to be, Volkanovski Islam 1 and then get my hopes and dreams crushed, because the Islam Volk fight, it was coming on the heels of Islam submitting Charles, and I was like, okay, can Volk really win this? And then watching the fight, I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen a fight this unbelievable between two all-time greats. And at that point, every fight after that, I was like, you know what? It's not Volk and Islam 1, so it's like, all right, it's not that good of a fight. Even though even though the fight would be unbelievable, it's just my expectations were all the way up here immediately following that card. I was like, it's not Volk.
Volk took the coconut bonks, just a straight fucking hammer fist.
Yes, it was. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna do it. He's gonna double champ. I can't believe it's gonna happen.
We all wanted to reach out and help him.
Yes, we did. Exactly right. I was so pulling for Volk there. But I think it's going to be an all-time fight. Again, maybe I'm getting my hopes up too much here, but we're buttering it up to unrealistic expectations, possibly. The Sean Brady one, I had Sean Brady via decision. I think you had Sean Brady via submission. Just like you did to Leon Edwards. And then Prates, I had Prates. Did you have Prates finishing Leon? I believe you had him finishing Leon.
Prates KO.
Yeah. You had KO. Okay. I had Prates via decision. I had 3 decisions in a row, and then I had Dariush as the finish. I think we both agreed Dariush and St. Denis is going to be a finish. They're not going to look for a decision there.
Those guys don't like to sit back. Like Benoit St. Denis, like what's his nickname exactly? He's a god of war. Like, I mean, come on, dude. Like, you can't have that. He's not going to be happy with decisions.
Exactly right. Yeah. So final thoughts. What are something that can happen after this card? I don't want to be like what's happening with Ilya Topuria and Islam Makhachev, but what could possibly happen after this card? What could be like a big takeaway that could immediately be like, oh, this fight is next after this card, depending on how things shake out?
Well, I mean, it'd be really interesting if Islam lost. That would be really crazy if Islam lost, because all of a sudden you got to look at JDM and be like, is JDM the pound for pound #1 in the world? You have to kind of look at him like that.
It changes everything that we think. Yeah.
And then what do we do with Islam? Does Islam go back down to lightweight and say, hi, Ilya, I might have to eat my own shoe here, but I'd like my title back, And so that would be crazy if that happened.
It's kind of like what Volk did. When Volk lost to Islam the second time, he's like, all right, let me just go back down and get my title back.
He'll literally go get my title back. Like, he just took it back. He's like, you know what, that's mine now.
That's mine. Yeah, let's just go back to what we did. That would be really interesting if he actually did lose to JDM. That would be a big takeaway that I would not foresee coming, but also, again, anything can happen here. I think the one that you mentioned.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. You said it.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say Sean Brady. If Sean Brady emphatically beats Michael Morales, who's undefeated.
Dana White could call the title shot right after the fight. So he's like, I'm like reaching over, tapping DC on the shoulder. Tell the fans that Sean Brady gets the next title fight.
Yeah, because that'll be the last fight before Makhachev JDM as far as the guides go, because obviously we have the co-main in between. But that's the third fight of the night in the main card. So it'll be Dariush St. Denis first, then Edwards Prates, and then Brady Morales. So Brady Morales will be after Leon Edwards and Prates. So they'll have the lasting impression of if Brady puts him to sleep and submits him in the first 2 rounds, I'm next. That's going to be the
call it.
100%. Yeah, so that those could be. And then what were you going to say after that?
I think that was what I was going to say. I was like, if Brady finishes him, like just right to the moon, next top title belt.
Yeah, 100%. So that we agree there. It's going to be I'm super excited for this entire card. Saturday is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to watch it all unfold. And see what happens after that. This is one of the better cards you're going to see this year. I was super excited for the Chimaev and Duplessis main event, but that main card as a whole was not this main card. So this main card at MSG is going to be awesome. Excited to see what happens. But yeah, thanks for joining us today and talking some UFC. Super, super interesting stuff this weekend, and we'll see how it all unfolds.
Appreciate you, Mike.
All right.